talk about why you fought so hard about the identity issue today?
Because of the press accounts in this case, it appears as though identification may be an issue. Without getting into many details, but from what you have written and the interviews that I've read, the height, the weight, the appearance of the individual who did this is going to be a subject of some discussion. And the sheriff's statement the other day indicated that there may be some eyewitnesses. And so therefore, nobody wanted to contaminate the identification process at this time by suggesting to eyewitnesses, any eyewitnesses, who the person is when they turn on television. And that's a fairly routine procedure in an identification case.
Can you talk about how the rest of his family is dealing with this?
My client's family is obviously very distressed about the seriousness of the accusations. They're very distressed about the fact that a young girl apparently had to go through a traumatic episode. It's been very upsetting to everybody involved, and they love and support their son, but are very concerned, of course, about this whole event and everything that's been happening.
Can we expect to see them at next week's bail hearing?
That is something I'm going to have to discuss with them. It may or may not be. I don't know that decision's been made. It's a very difficult time for Jack's family.
Can you tell us why they weren't here today?
Yes, because they knew nothing was going to happen today. I had advised them that there was going to be a very brief proceeding today, and no bail decisions were going to be made today, and therefore their appearance today would really not be very useful. And it's a difficult time appearing in front of the press under these circumstances, and it's not something I think most people feel comfortable with under any circumstances.
Are you going to zero in on mental capabilities or drug use or anything like that?
I have heard reports of drug or alcohol use. Let me say that there is no indication that my client had any drug or alcohol problem at all at any time. I'm unaware of any information, and in fact, quite certain that that's not the case. My client does have a history of depression that predates this event and has been under treatment for that for some period of time, but there is no drug or alcohol involvement in this case based upon anything I have heard or anything I know.
For some period of time, could you be more specific? How long has he been suffering from depression?
I can't actually give you as people who are familiar with the disease of depression understand that very often there's no bright line dividing when you're depressed and when you're not. It's an evolving event. So at this point, I'm not comfortable giving you a date as to when that is, but it's been for well over a year.
Has his family tried to help him?
Yes, he's been receiving some treatment for depression over the course of a substantial period of time.
Is it outpatient treatment?
Both inpatient and outpatient treatment for depression.
And what can you tell us about the Laguna Niguel address where Doshay was taken into custody?
That was a place for some treatment, and it had nothing to do with drugs or alcohol. It only had to do with depression. It's very difficult to find places and treatment alternatives in San Diego County. Sometimes right in Orange County they have somebody who does something very well, and sometimes you think that Orange County, California, when somebody goes there, it's like going to Orange County, Florida, the way we treat it. Orange County is not generally that far away.
Can you elaborate, please, on the not guilty expressing that if that your decision with them, that he denied categorically that he did not participate and did something or was there at the time?
My client has pled not guilty to all the charges and all the allegations, and what we're waiting for now are the police reports. I don't know. You know more than I do. You were at the sheriff's conference. I wasn't there. I would like to say, however, there was a report that somehow there was some, I think the term was horse trading back and forth between myself and the sheriff's office prior to his surrender. That's not accurate. The sheriff has behaved very professionally. I approached them to help them if they needed to speak to my client. When their investigation reached that stage, they reached out to me, and there was no trading or any type of negotiation involved. When they said they wanted to have access to my client, I said fine, and we provided that access for purposes of an arrest. So there's never been a negotiation, and the sheriff needed time to conduct their investigation. I understand that. Obviously, I know how these investigations go, and they require some time. I called just to make sure that in the event that they needed to have contact with my client, that could be accomplished without any delay.